Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I know some of you have these oils and you don't know what to do with them now, or maybe you've had them for a long time and they've been sitting on your shelf collecting dust because you don't know all the different ways to use them. Well, that is why we are doing this presentation today. We want to share all those details with you to help you learn more, right? To help you use these unsung heroes to their fullest potential. My name is Angela Mora, and I am a doTERRA Diamond wellness advocate, and I've been sharing natural medicine for over 15 years now, impacting my life, the people's lives that I love, as well as people that I've learned to love, strangers that actually were friends that I just hadn't met yet. I love connecting with people and empowering their inner healer. I have my friend, cohort, co-host, Brittany Semino. If you want to introduce yourself real quick, my friend.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Semino. I live in Mississippi, and I was introduced to doTERRA by Angela's mom, who is unfortunately no longer with us, but we love to honor her memory and talk about all her awesome storytelling skills. But that's how I got here. That was about 12 years ago, and it's still a learning journey. I'm still learning things about oils and how to take care of myself and how to age gracefully. So I'm happy to learn. I might pick up something new today, even though I've been around for a while. I'm always learning new stuff and always continue to be amazed at how effective the oils are. Somehow, still surprised sometimes.
Ain't that the truth? Even after over 15 years, I still keep learning, which is awesome, right? Keeping that brain healthy, experiencing new stuff. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and get started and tell you more about how to use these. So, Britt's going to drive the slides. Excellent. So, first of all, we want to tell you about quality, right? We want to share with you, yes, you may have essential oils, but what's important? What's important as to which essential oils you use for what issue, but also you want to make sure that you're getting nothing but that plant. So the doTERRA difference that we have here is there's no fillers, no synthetic ingredients, and no dilution. If there is any carrier oil in the bottle, guess what? It's on the label. So we label them properly to what is actually in the bottle. There's no regulating agency over essential oils. So unfortunately, companies can put what they want on the label as well as whatever they want in the bottle, and no one's policing them. But with ours, we have that third party testing, over 54 tests to ensure purity and potency. That's crucial. So it's not just the gas chromatography and mass spectrometry tests that most people are used to seeing. It actually goes beyond that to check for synthetics or adulterations, where they can take an existing natural substance and tweak it to make it look like we want it to on the tests, and therefore selling you something that's not quite the most effective for what you're looking for and a lot less expensive, but at a higher price because they get it to show up that way. These are also guaranteed to be from the plants grown in their ideal environments. So that's climate, soil, elevation, all of these factors. How long was it in the ground? How fast was it distilled from the plant after extraction from the soil? So these are all very important points that we need to take into consideration when we're looking at quality and potency. And then the ideal chemistry, right? We want to make sure that that chemistry is consistent over and over and over again. And that is why we have the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, Ole Miss Research Center working with doTERRA essential oils, because that's what they found over and over and over again. And if you have a pure plant extract, if it's a plant you normally can ingest, you can not only use these topically and aromatically, which most people are familiar with, but also internally, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in this next slide. So there are three different ways that we can use the essential oils. Aromatic is probably the most common. So that's going to be in a diffuser, and or you're just going to open the bottle and smell it, right? You just open the bottle and You smell it, you can put some drops on your pillow. You can even take and put it in a sprayer bottle and make a mist. These are things that we love educating people on. And speaking of educating people, while you're enjoying this webinar live, feel free to type in any questions into the chat. We'll be able to answer them. So if you've got some of these unsung heroes sitting on your shelf collecting dust, ask us, how do I use this? What could I use that for, right? Put those in the chat, whether you're on Zoom or your Facebook Live. Okay, just wanted to make sure everybody knows that they can ask their questions and we will answer them live on how to use the oils they already have. So with aromatic, we're going to support our airways, right? Breathing, right? Respiratory system. Also, these aromatic compounds will travel through our olfactory nerve in the back of our brain to get into the limbic region, right? An olfactory nerve in the back of our sinuses, up into the olfactory bulb in the limbic region of our brain. What does that mean? That's going to impact our memory and our mood, our traumas, limiting beliefs. Really, really crucial when we're trying to address mood, right? And because of the effectiveness and the efficiency of that delivery method, you're going to get much better results than you'll find with a pill that has to go through your entire system without the side effects. So I love using Breathe to open my airways. I also have my husband uses that to stop snoring at night. And the wild orange just brings that sunshine into my day. Another ways that we can use it is going to be topical application. So with topical application, that's where you're going to apply it to your skin. You might want to dilute them, especially if it's a hot oil such as cinnamon or clove or oregano. These are what we call spicy oils, right? And so when they're spicy, you want to use a carrier. My favorite carrier is fractionated coconut oil. The reason I like fractionated coconut oil because some of the fatty molecules have been removed. So then I can use that to create a roller bottle blend, right? Take some of those oils that you have and they may have some shared properties. My back's hurting and I might use some marjoram. I might use some deep blue and some copaiba in that roller bottle, put them all together with that carrier oil. And that's going to make those essential oil drops last longer because my whole back hurts. I need to cover that whole area and I only need one drop at a time. Pennies per dose when you're using essential oils, pennies per dose. So if I only need one drop, but I need to spread that over my whole area of my back, that's where that carrier helps a lot. It also will trap the aromatic compounds that like to flash off, evaporate really quickly, right? So that will trap it and then carry that down into your bloodstream. So deep blue is a very popular one for that pain, but digestin, which is what I'm actually holding right here in my hand, that one is good for tummies, or as I like to say, anything from whole to holes, okay? So your whole digestive system, your elimination system, all of that, any acid that we have trying to back up, right? We can get some relief with that digestin. And you can see here that we can use it aromatically, T topically, and I internally. And on the next slide, we'll give a little example of using the oils topically and with different age ranges, right? Or sensitivity. So you can dilute those in the carrier oil, as I mentioned, and with the roller bottle. So if you take, if you take a empty roller bottle, right? You want to just put, you see where it says less than 2 years old, right? You want to just put like that much in the bottom of a roller bottle. So you can take a roller bottle and there's this ball that's on it, but when you buy them, there is no ball on it, right? And so you can just sit there and put the drops of the carrier oil in it first and just up to that little bit. Then you add the essential oils, okay? And you're going to base the dilution off of sensitivity or age. This is a 10 milliliter roller bottle. It's standard. And so then once you've got the oils in there, you put the roller ball in, but you do not press down on the ball. because if you do that, you're going to compromise the integrity of the the edge that it's sitting in, and then next time you go to use it, it's going to pour all over you because that ball is going to fall out. So there's a little ridge that's on the edge of it, a little plastic ridge there, and that's what you press down on to pop that ball into the roller bottle once you're done. And then when you're ready to blend them up, you just kind of roll it like this and you'll be able to blend it. Now, this is my thyroid blend. I've just gone ahead and named it thyroid. I've put some oils that supports my thyroid. I also have some nodules that were trying to show up. So I just saw the endocrinologist this last week and they have shrunk. So that's what I like. What am I putting in my thyroid blend, you might ask? So myrrh, copaiba, and frankincense. Powerful, powerful. And of course, with that carrier oil, I just rub it right over there. I had a little skin tag in here. That nice little side benefit is literally drying up and falling off. So that's pretty cool. It was just right there in the center of my neck and I could barely feel it. I'm sure most people can't even see it anymore. So there's some dilution tips on that. Hopefully you were able to take some notes. Now we're going to move on to internal application. So with internal application, how do we know if we can take these internally? Well, you see that little image there where it says essential oils supplement, and it's on the back of any of the essential oils, either single or blends. This digestin is a blend that you can ingest safely. And the reason you can ingest it safely is because it's nothing but pure plant extract, right? Our CPTG standard that doTERRA holds all of their products to ensures that it's nothing but that pure plant extract. And if it's a plant that I will normally eat, right? Believe it or not, you can actually ingest frankincense. They did that back in biblical times for all kinds of wonderful things, including oral hygiene, right? But that one's really good for inflammation. So it's awesome to be, especially if you got it chronic, to be able to take that internally. So we'll know that we can ingest an oil because it will have the supplement facts on the back of the bottle, on the side of the bottle, and it will tell you for internal use, dilute 1 drop in 4 fluid ounces. I commonly get the question, does that mean I have to do it in 4 fluid ounces every time? And the answer is no. I will do an allergy shot, which is just a shot glass with lavender, lemon, and peppermint. Why do I call it that? Well, because it helps with those seasonal threats, right? So if I've got pollen agitating me, then I'm going to sit there and put that in my mouth, swish it around, swish it around, swish it around, swish it around, gargle, 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 bring my head to center, and then swallow it down. It's really, really powerful to clear those receptor sites, all of my mucous membranes, open up my airways, and reduce that inflammation. So that's a really powerful blend to take internally. But lemon is also really good for detoxifying your body. You can use them in water. I would not do that with the hot ones. And I would always use a veggie cap. I think someone asked a question in the chat about veggie caps. So yeah, we would definitely be using the veggie cap for any hot ones or anything that you don't like the taste of. You can put that in the veggie cap. Do not put the hot ones under your tongue. But frankincense is one that I'll put there, as well as copaiba, because sublingual outside of infusion is the fastest way into your bloodstream. And then it can go systemic everywhere in my body. So if I'm dealing with inflammation all over, I put a drop of frankincense under my tongue. That's going to support that healthy inflammatory response through my entire body. Okay, so hopefully that has helped with some questions. Keep them coming if you got some more. So your supplements are now part of your nutrition. We talked about oils. Now I want to really help you understand that supplementation is crucial. We're not getting the nutrition at the level that we need from our daily diet. So we want to supplement that. We want to put in what we want in that
I'm listening to something right now.
pure, potent form.
Not right now. I'm listening to.
So Yeah, that's just super, super, super powerful stuff. So sometimes people need to start it slowly, especially if they're more sensitive, right? So you can consider taking a quarter or a half a dose for just a few days and then build it up, right? So if you're not seeing any reaction, then you can increase from a quarter to a half, and so on and so forth. I've been supplementing for many years now, so I don't necessarily have to ease into that. But someone who's a little more sensitive, we would recommend that. And to really get the most benefit from your supplementation, you want to make sure to make it a lifestyle, right? Not just putting the healthy stuff in with the pills or the powders that you're swallowing, but also the foods you're ingesting, right? You want to be careful about that, making sure you're sleeping well, making sure you're getting good exercise, making sure that you're reducing your stress levels, making sure you're hydrating, right? That's a lifestyle. And then keep at it, be consistent, because you have to keep doing that over and over and over again to see the desired results, especially for that longevity that we all want. We don't just want to live longer, we want to live healthier. Okay, so if you have not experienced these books already, we have two that I use regularly. And Aroma Tools has this Modern Essentials, and it's called Modern Essentials Plus. It's a phone app on your phone for Modern Essentials Plus. I think you will find it by MEPLUS on your app. So on your app store. So either that's going to be an iPhone or an Android. It's one of my favorites. So you can look up the individual oils and what they can support you with, or you can look it up by the symptom that you're looking for some support from or for. I really love that one for the physical. And then we have another book available for us that will support us on the emotional. You can find so much on Google for the physical, so much. Unfortunately, you can get yourself deep into a rabbit hole, right? But with the emotional, there's not so much available. So Essential Emotions, you're going to see a phone app for that. And I highly recommend that you get that phone app if you, or the book, if you're one that wants more tangible. Aroma Tools sells that one as well. It's really, really powerful. You can look up the emotion in the back through the directory, and then it will give suggestions of multiple oils that might be most appropriate for that emotion. Then you can go back and read their individual description and pin it down, right? As well as your body. So your emotions are trying to express what they need through your body. And you will have symptoms come up physically that have an emotional root. So this will also help you to connect those dots. We have other resources available for you, right? I've got my oils, now what? That's the topic of this workshop. Check these out. We have a podcast that's going to be solutions. If you're interested in sharing doTERRA and making a little extra money, we have resources on that. Talk to the person who shared this webinar with you. If it was me, if it was Britt, if it was Breezy, if it was Marnie, right? Talk to them, because they can help you not only get the benefits that you need from these essential oils or you could use, but helping other people get them as well. Once you've found what they can provide for you, please don't be a closet user, right? Share the love, help those others in need, because they deserve the same wellness that you're receiving. And doTERRA will reward you with that, either with an account credit that can pay for your product, or you can even maybe make enough to pay for a car payment or even beyond, just depending on what you want. And we're here to help you with that. So you can see doTERRA has tons of education to support you as a user and anybody you would help get started with doTERRA as well. And here's how you would do that. So with the refer a friend link, anybody who's a wholesale customer, they get this special little link that they can send to their friends. And if they told them, let's say they told them about the digestion, right? Or maybe they told them about the breed to stop the husband snoring, right? Or the frankincense for the anti-inflammatory benefits. No problem. They send their little link to their friend. Their friend adds these items to their carts and checks out. Guess what? doTERRA gives them a little kickback, a credit on their account that they can use to buy anything they want. They can even apply that to their taxes or any shipping that they may have. Of course, they can also get free shipping with purchases at a certain amount or even discounted. So doTERRA is a very rewarding company. And this is our rewards program that we have where you can get cash back. You can get a free product every month. They'll have BOGO specials, all kinds of stuff. So I like to not only get my wellness from a high quality source, but I love the way that they give me all kinds of deals on that, discounting it. And when I earn up to 30% cash back on top of my 25% off for my wholesale account, that's like a 55% savings on the product, which is phenomenal when you think of it's literally pennies per dose. So if you have any other questions, please do be sure to chime in here in the chat. And we are doing other webinars. We're going to be doing a foundational wellness webinar happening on August 19th. That's going to be a webinar that we're going to be doing at noon Central Time. So that's going to be talking more about the supplementation and what's that about, right? Like, why do I need to pay better attention to that? And why would I need to use these certain ones, or what ones might be best for my body, right? That's going to be happening on the 19th at the same place at noon Central Time. And if you use this QR code or just go to this Linktree address, you'll be able to see not only that, but the other ones that we have available. We're also doing a back to school. Britt, you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm not in school or have children in school, but the time of year is what it is, right? A lot of people are focused on going back to school, but it's also relevant because that's when, like, you start kind of gearing your immune system up for the winter. All the people going back to school means they're spreading their cooties and bringing them home and giving grandma hugs and all of that. So you want to make sure that you are protected. So we're going to do a class about things relevant to going back to school, everything from immune support to, focus and sleeping. All of that comes into play when you're trying to get into the mode of going back to school. So we're doing a webinar for that. What is it? August the 12th? I think it's Tuesday. Let me look. I'm not great with memory on those details.
And you'll be able to find to register for that. That's on that same link. So you'll be able to register for that workshop that way as well.
Yeah, it's on the link there, for sure. And if I can put a link to, actually, let's put the link in the chat here for people.
Okay.
Let me do
so
that.
Britt will work on that. I'm going to go ahead and ask if anybody has any questions and just open up the platform. You can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I've never done Zoom before. Now, when you have all these notes up on the screen, was there any way that I could have saved those screenshots, all those notes on the screen, that I didn't save them?
You're like, could I have made this easier? Yes, there is a thing on your keyboard that's a print screen or a screenshot. And so depends on what you're.
I'm doing this on my iPad without any.
Okay. So whether it's a phone and you do a screenshot on it, or for your iPad or your laptop, you can click and drag to highlight the area that you want, and that takes a picture of the screen. So that's a good way to do that. And you can also, I just have this going live right now on my Facebook. So if we're friends on Facebook, you can see it there.
Don't do Facebook. Okay. All right. Oh, well, that's a lot of information lost for me. All right.
Well, and so Britt, you have her email address?
Yes, and I was going to say we could give you the paper handout that she handed to people in person. We can give you that to print or just look at digitally. So you'll still have the same information.
And I'm recording this right now. So
I was
Yeah.
thinking there's got to be a way I could have been saving all that information. I hate this a
Absolutely.
lot because I'm trying to write this down going, and
Well, this helps.
I'm not
for
hearing
sure.
thing.
no, that's perfect. Yeah. So you know, just a heads up for next Zoom, you can do a screenshot basically, and it's print screen is what it's usually called on a laptop. And I'm assuming I'm not an eye person,
Well,
so I
on
don't.
the iPad, you know how to take a screenshot. Do you know how to do that?
Have to hit two separate buttons at the exact same time, which can, if you do it wrong, shut my iPad off.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, we'll stick with the path we know works, which is the link to the handout.
And the recording. So I'll get that to Britt, and she'll be able to send that to you.
Or maybe I can get together with Jody down the street. I don't know if she's doing this or not.
She is here. She is here.
Ah,
We have her here.
maybe she's
Yeah.
got. Okay, thank
I
you.
see her
Just right
ceiling
away, I
right now, but yes. Oh, there she is. Hey, I see your eyes, Jody. Lean forward a little bit more. There we go. I see you. There you are. And you're on mute, my friend. We're just
There, now it's unmuted. I was hoping I was invisible. Sorry about that.
Okay.
no, we prefer you to not be. So
yeah, it's good to see your face for sure. Yeah, I dropped the link